G'day and welcome to the Inforunners. I'm Execute, joined today by Algared. How you doing, buddy?
I've been a lot better. It's COVID will knock you for six. So
And our voice in the void today is Sparrow. How you doing, Sparrow?
Doing good so far.
Yeah, cool. So Sparrow's joining us early in the morning, and it's late at night for us, so he's kind of getting a bit of the reverse of what we normally get. All right, we'll kick it over the browser real quick. All right, Sparrow. So this is your original fleet as you kind of came to us. So, what
were you thinking?
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, what were you thinking? What was your original kind of plan going in?
Original plan was just mainly go combat and logistical support for our org.
Right, logistical support.
Through mining, yep. Mining, salvaging, hauling, and bringing the heavy firepower when it comes to fighting other larger ships.
Yep. All right. So, and that's kind of why you went into the Kraken, I guess. So we'll start with Kraken, work around. So, yeah, this is kind of a support ship. So I guess that's where you're going with that, the combat support with this one.
Yep. Also, we plan to use that as our base of operations when we do our piracy operations.
Cool. All right. And the Polaris, I guess that's just also, I can see that as combat support as well.
Yep. We plan to use it as a support to help take out other capital ships if it becomes an issue when we do larger scale pirating when it comes to the full game.
Yeah. Actually, I should probably talk about that really briefly. So, what is your org? Like, as in, what would you because I think would you say your org's a piracy org?
Yep.
Yep. All right. The Orion, because you obviously mentioned mining.
My main thing for that was to bring in the credits for the bank, so we can easily back up anyone who's got like an Idris that needs to Idris M, so they can help us support more as a fleet.
Reclaimer, I can kind of see that for like I don't know, like the ships that you attack to salvage them, I guess.
Yeah, basically, as Reclaimer comes in last to strip down all the stuff from the enemy ships that we killed.
Hull C?
Stolen cargo.
Yep.
We will load it up.
Yep, and Retaliator?
That was going to be coming from the Kraken. If we needed it, we would have it on her deck when it comes to the target, but we would also have Polaris, depending if it was capital, he would be in standby.
I'll let you know right now, that won't fit on the deck of a Kraken. It's too big.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
That's all. I thought if it's a bit, I'm pretty sure they're going to change that, so it won't work.
Yeah, it won't work with physics down the road. Anyway, Redeemer.
That's going to be my support against other Corvette classes.
Okay. And the Prospector and Vulture, I assume, are just for solo use for yourself?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. All right, so after talking through with you, what do you remember the professions you gave us off the top of your head?
Combat, exploration, and mining.
That's correct. And then so from that, I initially talked with him, and this is what I came back at him with. And yeah, Algared, I don't know, how would you kind of say what I've done here? And I know you went over it as well too a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, basically, when we looked at the original fleet, and we looked at the professions that Sparrow told us he had, Executive and I basically both went, exploration. Where's your explorer? And so that was one thing. And then we also looked at other elements. So to have so many capital ships, and even talking as an org, having capital ships and yet not having a crucible.
Yep.
That was another thing that we saw as being really, really fundamental to being something they needed.
And on the crucible front, he also mentioned logistics, and that is way up there, in able to doing that as well. Besides the Kraken and the Polaris as well.
Yeah. And then the 2 explosion ships, they're the down the track refinery gas miner type ships. So again, logistical support being something that would be there. So
and he also is looking for ships that well, I think in there, because he's a fairly if you have seen the org like we have, he's fairly a main. Are you the leader of the org, or you're one of the main people? Yeah.
Co-owner.
Co-owner. Well, there you go. That kind of tells you everything you need to know. So yeah, a few of those ships, like things like the Endeavor and things like that, I think they kind of crept in because they're things that they just had gaps. Like no one had an Endeavor, no one had a Crucible. What was it? Someone else had a Reclaimer, didn't they? In the end, and that's why the Reclaimer left.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was shifting a few things around. Oh, sorry, Agron.
And as we were looking at the fleet, like I know a lot of people say, you guys always recommend an Endeavour. And yeah, we do, because it is a good value ship, but it's also an end game logistics ship. So one of the big things it can do, if you put a collider on it, is you can actually, according to what we've been told so far, use that to overclock components. So you salvage your components from ships you destroy, you repair them on your Crucible, you upgrade them on your Endeavour, and then you sell them off on a merchantman if you've got one.
Also, it gives him other pirate activities like drug running and that as well.
You've also got the hydroponic pods, which you can use to grow drugs. You've got the hospital, which again you can use for large scale options. So the Endeavour becomes this really, really key central support ship for operations. But it's also going to balloon in size.
They're probably going to be like the Crucible Algared, going to need more than one. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, because once you turn that into one of those roles, obviously you're going to probably need the other ones as well. So if you go down the hospital route, you might want one of the others additionally to that as well. So that's something else to take note of there, Sparrow.
And the other thing we know with the Endeavour, it is going to grow. If you consider the hangar of the Endeavour hangar is supposed to be able to take 2 Cutlass Reds. Now, if you look at the Kraken's large hangar pad, that is big enough for 2 Cutlasses.
Yep.
So that gives you an idea of how big the Endeavour's hangar pod needs to be, and that gives you an idea of how much the Endeavour has to grow to accommodate that, to keep the scale of things the same. So
we actually, when we were playing this with the other time, Algared, didn't we? We kind of scaled it to fit, and it was literally, you know, it's quite large. It's not as big as a Javelin, but it's bigger than a Kraken. Yeah,
and that was the minimum size we were kind of looking at, just to get that right scale in. So and at its current price of $350, the Endeavour is just one of those ships. You just, if you've got spare credits, it's one of those ships you say, pick it up.
Yeah, or at very least pick up that $10 CCU to lock in that cheap price before it goes up, because it's definitely going north.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, and then with that, after we kind of had our input and stuff, we've also had Alien Week happen in the meantime, and Invictus. This is what he came back with. So he actually had made quite a few changes. And obviously, if you kind of look there, it's literally the same without the explosions. So he literally did make a lot of our recommendations. Do you think you'll actually look at the refinery ship and the gas miner when it comes along, Sparrow?
Yeah, most likely. But we do have guys who are also interested in earning those kind of capital ships, which I could probably push them to look at.
So someone else might get them, and if you don't get them yourself, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, since we already have like a whole group that focus on industrial stuff, so I might hint it to that leader, since he's basically turned his to combat. I might say, hey, these are coming out.
Yeah. So are you kind of happy now with how things have turned out? Like you feel a bit more focused now, and I don't know, like how would you word it yourself in your own words?
I like it based on the design and how it would help the org, especially when it comes to pirating and logistics and when it comes to industrial, bringing in the big bucks for the unit.
So some of the key ships there that me and Algared normally add, I just want to ask things like that. So about the Endeavor and Crucible, do you actually see the benefit of those?
Yeah, I see the benefit. It's basically a multi-role ship. If we ever decide to take a break from piracy, be like a medical team, we can do that from the Endeavor. We can also be a mobile station.
I think you can also probably sustain yourself a little bit with food if you had to, and obviously having your own medical facilities when you're pirates and you're out and away, that's a good idea as well. So yeah, definitely use some options. And I do think me and Algared both said I do think your org probably needs another Crucible or two, and I'd probably say the same thing for the Endeavor. Maybe one Endeavor at least, but yeah, definitely another Crucible as well. So yeah, Algared, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I think I'd just reiterate that point. If you're an org that's got numerous capital ships, you want to have numerous Crucibles just to be able to support them. They have if your capital ships become damaged, you need to be able to repair them to a point where they can actually move and get to a shipyard. If they're that badly damaged, and the Crucible's the ship that basically does that. That's the ship that was envisaged as a ship to repair javelins and interests. So, that is also likely to grow as well. So, those two ships are just two ideal ships, and then you've now got your explorer ship, which suits for scouting the jump points out as I think you were saying the other day, and you've got your Redeemer, which is a great combat ship.
Punches up.
So I know Paul hates it, but
yeah, I'll get it to law one day, and then he won't be able to hate it anymore. I just think they need to add him to the law just to really rub it in.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
All right, Sparrow, is there anything you'd like to ask anyone in the comments below? Anything, like any type of feedback you would like to get from people that are watching?
Not that I could think of.
Okay.
Other than, what do you guys think the shops would be like on the merchant?
Shops on the merchantman? You want to know about shops on the merchantman? Okay. Algared, what about yourself?
Yep.
What would you like to hear?
Well, as I usually say with our fixed mast fleets, are we leading Sparrow down the alleyway to beat him up, or are we leading to the pastures of the good oil? So
the promised piracy.
That's right. Are we have we maligned him? Have we led him down the path? Have we given him the good oil to aid his org? Let us know what you think.
I'd just like to know that. Do you like the changes that we've made? Because again, just going in line with what he said at the beginning, and probably additionally adding to that the logistics stuff. I think we covered every base he had there, and anything that looks like there might be a gap, like some of the other stuff. Other people had those in his orgs, and they were really concerned about double ups. That was a big thing for them. And they do have everything covered other than the Crucible and the Endeavor, which I think they're aware of. Well, you are aware of that now, aren't you, Sparrow?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think it's all good. All right. With that then, if you like this type of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one. And you can obviously watch plenty more Fix My Fit videos on our channel, as well as plenty of other guides there as well. Anything else you want to add, Algared, or we'll sign off there?
Nope, it's time to sign off. So I've been Algared. He's been executed.
And the voice in the void has been Sparrow. Say goodbye, Sparrow. Bye.
Bye.